Hello guys, welcome to another video. This is an update video for the oil leak that normally happens here on the vacuum pump. You have two bolts just like this ones on the bottom side and they usually leak a lot and oil starts to appear over here on the top of the turbo and then again to the floor. This video will do for 1.9 liter engines, 2 liter engines, 1.6, 2.4 and everything in between, as you may imagine, okay? But now I have another tip here for you, because with age new things start to appear, and I have to tell you more about this oil leak because it is developing another issue. So I have here new gaskets, original ones only for these engines. The aftermarket ones will not work, so I have a gasket for this oil fill up neck over here. It has to be the original, and the 3 bolts it has, I show you in a minute, also have to be plugged up like I told you on the previous video. Okay, the previous video for this oil leak over here. I have the gasket for the vacuum pump over here, also has to be original. If not, it will leak like crazy, believe me, even worse than the used one. And I have a third one. This one here is optional, but usually happens a lot, okay? This one, as you can saw on the previous video of this engine, I was dealing here with the intake manifold, EGR and whatnot. And this gasket over here was missing, and it is still missing. I have the new one. Only original is available unless you buy a box of gaskets, aftermarket ones. In that case, it will have one of these, but I just need this one, okay? So this one also normally leaks. I'll also show you why the holes are not round and what is the danger of having this gasket leaking oil. Normally it happens a lot on the 159s. The oil leaks to the top of the hose, the coolant hose. The coolant hose ruptures and then you have a cracked head. So be very careful with the oil leaks that you have on your engine. So in here you have a very straightforward, by the way, this clamp over here is not over here, it's over there. It's not correctly mounted. You have to take out here the vacuum pump to replace the gasket. Very straightforward. Okay, nothing too much to talk about. If you want to know more about this, the seal of the bolts, I did the video. It is down on the description, the video for that. No need to take out the coolant hose. So this one, the bolts are sealed, so it means that the leak comes from the gasket itself. By the way, I did clean everything very well before starting the work. I like it more in that way. This hose over here is a 2-layer one, so be very careful with that. It is in that way very thick and very firm, so it does not collapse. One thing that some of you guys asked me about a few months ago is how can I test here this vacuum pump. It is extremely easy, and the first thing that you want to do is to remove here this hose, crank your engine at idle, okay, and with the vacuum gauge it has to have negative 0.9 bar, okay. It is the maximum vacuum possible on these pumps, on all pumps for that matter. Now that being said, you want to put here a piece of tube and then an extension with a gauge to see when you press on the brakes. If your gauge stops reading that maximum negative 0.9 bar, if it starts to climb near to 0, not that much, okay, but if it starts to climb to 0.5, for example, negative, all this negative, it means that your servo is stealing the vacuum from your pump, okay? You have to have that 0.9, getting back again to the pump itself over here. You have to have it at idle, and no matter what you do with your accelerator, it has to have always the maximum possible 0.9 negative bar. Now to take it off, you just spray it out gently, not to scratch anything. It has no specific position other than two possible positions. So you have a key on the back of the pump. Now you can twist the pump, you can twist the shaft over here, no problems. Yes, you can, but I recommend you not to do that, so you do not lose the position, so it will be much easier to put back again the pump in place. Okay, later down on the channel I can do a video just for the pump, how we can open the pump, how we can possibly replace the O-ring that it has inside. It has one, but I do not know if it is possible to buy it separate, okay, on the hydraulics shop, for example. Okay, now you have here the gasket itself. Remove it to one side. And before putting this back again, I recommend you to use this space, this available space, to work your way into the fill-up neck and into the intake neck as well. There are 3 bolts here on the fill-up neck. They are different from the ones on the vacuum pump. The length is different, so do not mix them up. Be careful not to lose the washers. The bottom one over here is a little bit difficult because of the thermostat hose. I already removed here the plug for the sensor. Let's try to do with this one the bolt. And sometimes it cannot be done because the clip thing of the clamp is in the way, so you have to rotate it a little bit. This does not mean sometimes you have to take out the clamp, but that does not mean that you have to take out the hose, because you do not want to lose your coolant, okay? Now, as you can see, much easier. I'll show you more closely. By the way, this is the same access that you have to create when you are adjusting here the camshafts on these engines. Already did talk about this on the timing video that I have for this engine, not this particular one, but a exact same one. Once you have a broken timing belt, for example, you have 2 cogs over here, 2 gears on the inside, and do not have a keyway. So if you have a break on the belt, they can slide out of timing, and you are seeing timing here on this camshaft because you have the tool, but on the rear one you may not have seen it because you think everything is okay, but in fact they can rotate. So you have to create the space over here. You have this bolt over here, another one on the inside, I'll show you in a minute, and you have to break him loose, adjust the camshafts again in place, and then do your timing. For that I have a video down in the description to help you how to do that. One bolt over here, another one over here. They are 18mm head bolts, okay? Does not have a specific position. The cogs over here, the gears over there on the inside do not have any specific position. They are 360, they are free, so no worries with that. I call this the intake valve, not the throttle body, for a reason. Well, 2 reasons. First of all, I always forget the throttle body, but this is not a throttle body. This is just an intake valve. So when you have the switch off of the engine, you have a smooth shut off, like I told you on so many other videos, to protect your flywheel. Also, if you have your EGR working while you have the EGR working with the engine on the road, okay, sometimes it closes just a little bit to help out the workings of the EGR. During acceleration, you do not have any control over this valve, okay? The bolts over here are completely wrong, and I have to find good used ones to put in here, okay? So you take out here the intake valve, and you can see now that the gasket will work, okay? And now, how can we guarantee that the gasket does not go sideways, does not go wrongly mounted, and then you cannot see what's happening? The holes are not round on purpose, so you can put your screw on the part itself, okay? And then onto the gasket, and as you can see, it does not go anywhere if you do not do too much of a stretch with it. So as you can see, it's not very easy to remove it. Okay, but eventually you can. But I'm exaggerating so you can see how difficult it is to be out of place. Okay, on these two ones, you do not have that triangular shape hole because it is not necessary. I'll show you why in a minute. And this is the way that Alfa Romeo assures you that you can do a good job if you follow the methods that they invented. Make sure the gasket goes to proper space, the proper position. Put your bolts in. I found some 3 new bolts, very nice. Sorry, do not have the part number for that. This is just a box of bolts that I bought. I'm holding down to the lower bolt over here with my one of my fingers, so it does not go flying off. And then the top ones, they are easy to reach. There is absolutely no need to do this with this outer flange, but I am feeling lazy today. Now the bottom bolt. Of course, I can guarantee, even without taking this apart, this flange over here, I can guarantee that the job is being done correctly. If not, I'm the first guy to just take it all out and do it properly. But so far, I can see that I can do this like it is. Do not go all the way with the bolts, because remember that the gasket is constantly being trapped on the triangular holes, so you have to be gentle and do it just a little bit at a time. Now we can go on here to the fill-up neck. No need to measure here the torque on the bolts, just make sure it is snug, not too much, okay? Now on the fill-up neck here, the triangular shaped hole will be nice, but does not have it. Maybe because of that or some other reasons, the new fill-up neck is plastic, and the gasket is now a seal instead of that, and it is very much easier to do. So my tip for you is the bottom bolt over here with your Allen key over here, and go like this into place. It's much easier in this way for me, okay? You can do however you want to do. Here we go. Just start the bolt, make sure it is well started. Now start to locate the other holes of the gasket. Once you have at least 2, the other ones, no matter how many they are, they'll go very nicely. Just rinse and repeat. Oh wait, I'm doing something wrong over here. We still have time, so I will take out one at a time of these bolts. I will do the procedure that I did over here on the previous video of cleaning all this up and the hole too. and apply that blue thread locking glue to stop the oil from coming out of the threadings of the bolt. Okay, a video for that is down on the description. Now for the vacuum pump, you have here this gasket, and you have this nipple over here that goes into that groove over here. And as you can imagine, even with that, there is only one way to go. So the bolts do not line all up, so the top ones do, but the bottom ones do not. And also you have here this area where this ear has to go to this way. So like this it is. In this way, 4 bolt holes line up, and also this area over here. On the aftermarket gaskets, they do not go this easily like this one goes. They are very hard to press in, and it's a mess. Oil everywhere. Well, if you want to, you try it. I do not fall for that trap anymore. Now, if we are lucky, we can locate again the cam over here with the cam over there. Oh yeah. Now the bottom ones, like I told you in the other video, a bit of Loctite to stop the oil from coming out of the threading, and you have the complete job almost done. These are the most common oil leaks on these engines. One of the most common is down on the crankshaft on the gearbox side, unfortunately. And I did videos for that, not actually yet how to do it, but I have videos explaining how to do it and why and whatnot. Okay, I have videos for gearboxes, how to remove the gearbox to reach that seal on the crankshaft behind the flywheel. They are down on the description on the playlists regarding clutches, gearboxes, everything. Okay, so this next part, I think it is well known for you guys. Already repeat some of these processes on my videos, on some other videos. They are down on the description. If you want to know more about this and other areas of the car, you have really a lot of stuff down on the description. And also down on the description you have links for helps for the channel if you are able to do so. I really appreciate if you can do a simple donation, for example, or a monthly one via Patreon. It is what it is. So this is very expensive to do on these kinds of videos of YouTube. So you can imagine that any help that you can give, it's welcome, really. And for now, that's it. For now, here it is. These parts were bought on the dealership. There is no other way to buy them with security nowadays. So internet-wise are a little bit sketchy. And I recommend you to talk to your local dealer, because if you develop a good, solid connection with them, they start to do some discounts and start to treating you like a human being sometimes. Okay, so guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and I see you next time, guys. Bye.